Because they are recruiting fighters from Europe, a few from the United States who have passports that are going to enable them to travel around, there has to be a much more focused and sustainable effort against them.
It's important to act, and it's important for the president to express what his strategy is. This kind of creeping, incremental approach that doesn't say what the ultimate objective is and how we're going to go about doing it. You don't have to show your whole hand, but you got to give people a sense that there is a strategy.
That's former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton at the debate on Saturday night, and Jeb Bush talking about the terrorist attacks and what's going on in Paris. To talk about the debate is Ashley Pratt, is a Republican strategist. Good morning, Ashley Pratt.
Good morning. How are you?
We are great. What did you think of the former Secretary of State's performance Saturday night?
You know, I couldn't be, less surprised by what happened on that debate stage. One, it was on a Saturday night, which who was really watching other than, operatives like myself? But that's the problem, I feel like it was designed exactly so that way the American people wouldn't hear what she has to say. Because if you heard what she had to say, you would be extremely disappointed or question any type of leadership that she may have held in any type of position. But I think the most shocking thing that came out of that debate was the fact that Bernie Sanders got up there and still said that climate change is the number one threat to the United States. I don't know how anybody could say that or be so out of touch with what is going on, especially in the case of ISIS after the attacks in Paris on Friday.
The military and the Pentagon have said that climate change is a major, major problem and something they have to deal with going forward. So to say that it's not an issue, people in the Pentagon are saying that.
Right, but I feel like this was something that, Obama had decided to come out and say, that climate change is the number one threat facing America today. And I feel like there are people within this administration who have continued to push that narrative in the wake of this whole thing happening with ISIS. I don't know how you could continue to say something like that and want to be the leader of the free world and understand that this is a growing threat. While you might want to combat climate change, at the end of the day, to protect innocent lives, it seems as though one would have to come up with a strategy to defeat and destroy ISIS, which is something I thought that the president said he was looking to do when he made the comments about degrading and destroying, but haven't seen that happen yet. They're not contained, like he said. And to have that debate the night after these attacks and to see just how out of touch the Democratic, candidates are was, I think, truly appalling.
That was Bernie Sanders. You talked about the president. What about Hillary? What did Hillary say that was so terrible?
I guess with Hillary, my concern really is how out of touch she is with everyday Americans and the fact that she just continues to push a narrative of, I am a woman. I am the only woman on this stage. And she played the gender card multiple times, but mainly in a sense that she feels as though, I think, that she deserves this nomination because she is a woman. And that's the narrative that she kept pushing all night is, I've shattered glass ceilings. This is what I can do. She neglected to kind of mention, all the ties and whatnot that she and her husband have to cronyism, so to speak. And then she went as far as to make, I'm still looking more into this, but the comments regarding 9/11 and the connections to Wall Street. And that seems to be something that was another, issue and red flag that was taken out of those debates. I don't know if you've heard any more in that, but it seems like there was some Twitter outrage because she went to go blame somebody on Twitter for the comment that she made regarding her connections to Wall Street.
Well, there's Twitter outrage because I say it's Monday and it's really Tuesday.
Right.
But her comment, for those who weren't paying attention, she was Bernie Sanders called her out for taking money from Wall Street banks, and she said, hey, 9/11 happened right in Wall Street, and so I was helping to rebuild, and they were sort of helping me type of deal, and I'm certainly paraphrasing. But the American public knows every candidate is taking money from somebody, so I'm not so sure that's the biggest controversy of the evening.
Yeah, that's true, except for Bernie Sanders did hit back on that and said, I have the smallest possible donors all across the country, and mine is truly a grassroots campaign. Now, while he seems completely out of touch on a lot of issues, that's the campaign he's been running, and that perfectly set up Clinton to play the gender card, which is what I was referring to before, where she said, well, most of my donors are women. And it became one of those things where it's how much more pandering can you do? And I don't know why she thinks as though, it's an entitlement or it's a right for her to assume the office of the presidency, but even the confidence which she displayed was more of an arrogance. And that's the one thing that I think if you had watched this debate, it would have been something that you had taken away as a viewer, was that sheer arrogance there, that Clinton arrogance, which is, I'm entitled to this, I deserve this, and I can get things done. Except she neglected to really mention her willingness to work with the other side of the aisle. In that first debate, we saw her, call out Republicans as her enemies. And in this one, she did single out Republicans again and kind of talk about, how ridiculous and how old the proposals were that you heard on the debate stage, at the Fox Business debate, and how, we could all agree that a world would be better off with a Democrat in office. But it's just realizing that you have to work with the other side of the aisle.
Ashley Pratt, Republican strategist. We got to run. We'll leave it there. Ashley, thanks for checking in.
Great. Thanks. Take care.
756, Big 550, KTRS.